What's going on, guys? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Haven't done this in a while, so I want to make sure everything is good. All right, loud and clear. Okay. So, obviously, there was big news today in the community, right? I posted in the Amino, like this really early this morning, and I was like, I have a feeling there's something coming soon. And I was even talking to Hidden about it like the other day, and I was like, dude, I feel it. And I follow Ray Reynolds on Twitter, and Ray Reynolds was saying that they had reached out to him for something and something was going to be happening soon. And I'm like, dude, like I feel like the community, the weekly event thing is coming to like an end, and there's like no more in the pipeline right now to follow it. And Ray Reynolds is posting this stuff on Twitter, and like there's like hype building, and Hello Games went in this like little silent mode, and then like right after I posted something's coming, I get the notification on Twitter that Sean Murray like posted like the summoning emoji with like the oranges for eyes, and then everybody like went nuts on the oranges, and I'm like, what could that possibly mean? And then today, Origins was announced. And so that's really exciting. And I kind of wanted to stream because I've been watching, different things in the community throughout the day while I was at work about the update. The people were saying that they think it's going to be a smaller update, that, they were speculating about the poster that was in there. So I just kind of wanted to see what you guys thought. Do you guys think this Origins update is going to be a big update? Is it going to be a small update? What are you thinking? NoobTube says, man, I don't know shit. Okay. I mean, it's speculation station, dude. Nobody knows anything. It's all talk at this moment. But, it's kind of fun to think about, right? I feel like Hello Games follows the community. They look at Reddit, they look at Twitter, they check the YouTube channels out. They see, they take the temperature of the community, and it kind of helps, like I guess like give ideas for like what people are interested in, like what excites the community. So there's always going to be that crowd out there that's like not real big on speculation. You know what I mean? But I feel like, with this game in particular, unlike a lot of other games, I feel like maybe in the past it wasn't a great thing, but I feel like now it's probably pretty productive, right? I feel like Hello Games actually uses these sort of conversations a lot. Arsenal says, yo, yo, YouTube, but I hope to God they add some new enemies or summon. Some animals that you have to defeat in stages or something. I know. I was reading something the other day that said that the game is infinitely wide, but only inches deep. And it kind of like made sense because there's not many consequences to things that happen in the game, right? So it's kind of like, you get to explore, you get to do all these other things, but there's no depth. The community actually creates the depth, and maybe that's the intent. We sort of create a lot of our own events, a lot of our own sort of things that we do in the community to kind of build excitement around the game and like, kind of unite and do things together. And so, if that's the intent all along, then fine. But in terms of in-game, there's just not really a whole lot there. Which is fine, because when you think about where the game was when it came out, I mean, there definitely wasn't a lot there. And I mean, I pumped like 500 hours into that version of the game. NewTube says, "Hello games, we see you. They are literally going to watch this video, bro." Nah, dude, I don't think, not my channel. I used to get like retweets and shout outs from Hello Games, and when we first started the FDI, like some of our bases and stuff like that were like, got mentioned by Hello Games, but they haven't hit your boy up in a minute. And it could be that I just get lost in the sauce. I'm not as active as I used to be, so my stuff just ain't out there as much. Arsenal says, "It's being compared to Foundation is what's most interesting. They consider it a small update, but for the community, it was huge at the time." Yeah. Yeah. So here's my thing, right? If you look at the word like origin, like what it means, here, and I'll go back even further. So the first update for No Man's Sky, like major update overhaul wise, not just a patch, was Foundation, right? The foundations for things to come. And they kind of downplayed the update, saying that this is going to be like sort of the not the biggest update, and it was going to lead to the direction that the game would eventually go and all that other kind of stuff. But the really interesting part about everything is that the update was actually very transformative, right? So it wasn't no like boo-boo update. Like Hello Games wasn't just like, these certain parts of the game are functional now. They added things that like people probably weren't even really considering or talking about at the time, right? Foundations hit, okay, and we get this trailer, we get this website page dedicated to it, and we get this, sort of like patch notes breakdown. And that kind of started this whole thing that we've been used to now over like the last 4 years. And but that update brought base building, right, which was a huge feature. It brought the ability to have a freighter, right? Pathfinder brought the ability, I think, to build a base on the freighter, or maybe it was house multiple ships. I can't remember. But in terms of where the game was at that moment, it was pretty transformative because it did a couple of things. That the No Man's Sky back in 2016 when it launched was about exploration, right? So it was about this lonely experience. You're this lonely traveler in this infinite universe, and they wanted to really capture that feeling of like sort of the quietness and the loneliness of like interstellar exploration, right? They really wanted you to feel alone, Obviously, the controversy ensued and so on, but I think it did that quite well. Like when I would play the game back then, I remember like, sometimes just wandering around a planet, looking at the beautiful terrain, looking at the night skies, and just sort of thinking like, man, if I was a space explorer and I was going through this experience, like it would really remind me how small I was. And I thought it was effective. But Foundations changed all of that, and it gave you the ability to like settle, right? To have like a home base, like a forward operating base where you can house items, have a farm for resources and things like that. So it gave you the ability to find a planet that you like and create a home there and build a custom home. And I thought that was like the coolest thing, right? But it really transformed the game from this lonely exploration experience to like you can settle and build a base. And so then that attracted people of an entirely different play style. And when you think about like No Man's Sky next, right? That was like the next sort of major transformative update. It was the next thing, right? It was like the next version of No Man's Sky. And we got all new terrain generation. We got all new thanks, Starkwolf. We Twinkies. I never did get rid of it. I don't remember if you had that conversation. But like, we got the new terrain generation. We got third-person perspective, customizable character models. All of that came with Next. And so then we're looking at the game in a way that we've never seen it before. And if you think about it, we've been used to it. The updates that we've gotten, even if they've added a bunch of features and a bunch of quality of life and a bunch of these other things, they've never really seemed like that big compared to that feeling that we got with maybe Foundations and with Next, because it completely changed the landscape of the game, right? And No Man's Sky Next added multiplayer, which then added a whole new way that players could engage and enjoy the universe that is No Man's Sky. And so Origins, and in the description it says that it's the start of something new, right? I think that people are sort of downplaying like what that really is, right? Because the game has so many features now, so many quality of life additions. It's been through so many iterations, so many upgrades, so many things have been improved graphically, on the server side, with base building, with the ability to own ships, freighter customization, character customization, Quicksilver customization, weekend missions, community events, right? All these different things, better procedural generated missions, better faction stuff. So people are downplaying it. They're like, this is, like I was watching Mac 4-Day's video earlier today, and, big shout out to Mac 4-Day. He's usually killing it, but, slapping skins and shit. But it's like, in that moment when he said that, like, he was feeling that it was going to be a small update, I'm like, nah, dude, this thing's going to be huge. Like, I really feel like this update is going to be, we've had, if you think about it, yeah, there's been a couple overhauls, but there's been two really big ones. Foundations, Next. I think Origin's going to be the third biggest one, right? Now, I'm not comparing it to Next or Foundations, but I'm saying that it's an overhaul on that level, right? So, and just to break it down, this is directly from Hello Games page. So, 4 years ago, we announced Foundation, our first major update for No Man's Sky. We promised it won't be our largest update, but it is the start of something. Those words were true at the time, and they ring true for Origins. We called it Origins because it is the beginning of something new as No Man's Sky continues to grow and evolve, right? Something new, not different from what we have now. New, brand new, right? That's huge in and of itself, okay? Beyond came out last year, bringing VR and hugely expanded online play. And since then, we have focused on releasing more regular updates. And then it talks about the smaller updates. Synthesis, Bite-Beat, Living Ship, Exomech, Crossplay, and Desolation have been some of our most popular, surprising, and transformative updates, leading No Man's Sky to have its biggest year to date. We know there is a huge appetite in the community for No Man's Sky content, and the team has worked our socks off this year to deliver under difficult circumstances. We've been quiet. We're always listening and focusing on improving the game that our team loves and feels so passionately about. And then it says, this update will be another small step in a longer journey. We hope you can join us. I don't think there's going to be anything small about this update, but I want to get y'all's thoughts on that. I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. So, Arsenal says, it's being compared to Foundation is what's most interesting. They consider it a small update, but for the community, it was huge at the time. I think I already read that, but you and me, Arsenal, we're on the same page, right? I think we're viewing this the same way. NoobTube said, well, you have to realize that inevitability built this game for exploration. Then they gave us big advantages by building, but now they've given us both and more, and it gets more complex. Our societies will be unpredictable. With each and everything they change, our potential magnifies exponentially. So take it in the well-grounded AI patterns and given challenges from the game's very nature and what we exploit readily. The AI getting more interactive or difficult could be tenfold as revolutionary. Yeah. I mean, and NoobTube said a lot there, but he's basically saying that every time that they add a feature, right, it exponentially increases the possibilities that the community gets to interact with that particular feature. Sometimes in ways that like Hello Games hasn't even really been able to like predict, right? Like they'll put their intent out, and then they see what we do with it, and then they're like, wait, what? We never even thought of that, right? We got Levi Rivers says, hello, travelers. Good evening. What is going on, Levi Rivers? Welcome, welcome. Stark Wolf says, start of something new. PS5 is new. That's very true. Maybe as part, you know, there's going to be like an announcement trailer for the update. And I apologize for sort of like the boring background gameplay. I'm not really here for the gaming aspect. It's really the discussion about the update that I'm here for. So I'm probably just going to be like ambiently sort of walking around shooting at shit. But yeah, I mean, I think bundled into the announcement, we may get news of like, you know, hey, this is going to get ported to PlayStation 5. Right? And, you know, sort of in the typical trend of like Hello Games, if you already own the game, you won't need to pay anything more to get the updated version. All you need to do is just have a PlayStation 5. Like, I could totally see them doing something like that. I could totally see that. Let me message Dave Langer real quick and let him know I'm streaming. I don't think he even knows I'm streaming. Apologize for that. Okay. But yeah, I could totally see that, Stark Wolf. Let's see here. Arsenal says, with Sean showing the old Sandworm, do you think Origins may actually pull in some of the old E3 trailer assets like that Origin or the start of a whole new Origin building No Man's Sky to continue through next gen? Here's the thing. I honestly never really think about the Sandworm thing because I don't really... I'm more into the science fiction part of this game than the science fantasy. And so I don't really care about like the sandworms and space whale thing that much. So I haven't really like thought about that deeply. But I do, dude, I love this like little area right here with all these like weird plants. These never get old to look at. But I do got to say that like that early trailer holds a special place in my heart with like that weird sort of alien rhinoceros and like running through the forest and that big like brachiosaurus looking thing and like the sandworm or snake that was like slithering through the desert like. And Dave Langer subscribes to the channel. Why did Dave Langer ever unsubscribe? Oh, snaps. But, you know, I think that would be cool. I think any added, like, flora or fauna is, like, helpful, right? And that's something that we haven't seen is, like, you know, big sort of, like, well-crafted, animated creatures. The AI for their movement patterns and sort of, like, what they do in the environment has gotten better over time. But the larger animals move sort of unnaturally and nothing like the original E2 trailer. So to see something like that kind of come back and like in that level of fidelity would be pretty incredible. Sarkle says, yes, something. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, something along those lines. I'm sticking by the God code implementation. Yeah, you know, I used to have my own theory about the whole God code thing. I don't know much about it in terms of like where they stand legally with that. I know that like the whole thing sort of expired and like it's kind of up in the air now, and you know maybe you know that developer or that coder that came up with that and Sean Murray came to some kind of agreement because there was sort of this story that was out there that they had this code that they were using that was in the original game. And aside from the fact that they lost a lot of data with the flood that was in Guilford at that time, that there also was this issue with the code that they were using, and sort of this guy had an issue with it, and they weren't able to use the code. And so then ultimately when the game came out, it wasn't the game that they had originally developed. But I don't know how much truth there is to any of that, because I know that there's so much speculation surrounding it. I do know that Sean Murray said that releasing No Man's Sky was like, you're on this rocket ship and you're flying toward the sun, but you're building the rocket ship on the way up. And so I don't necessarily think that was really ever it. I think they literally just they knew the game wasn't going to be finished. There was pressure to release it, and there was a lot of hype, and so their hope was to release the game and just keep working on it, crazy working on it as it released, which is precisely what they did. Like, I think at this point, just based on the interviews that he's given recently, I think releasing the game in that state was very much intentional. Let's see here. Jabroni Beating says, Panda, what is going on, dude? Welcome back to the Hidden Panda Show. New2 says, hit that like button because Panda is bringing it to you live. Yes. So I haven't done this in a while, so I don't know if it's kind of like... What's up, Doc? Yeah, I feel like a noob at the moment. But no, thank you guys for like showing up and being here for the stream. So hopefully I can make time to do this more often. Kiddo's getting a little bit older and a little bit more independent, sleeping longer through the night. So I'm kind of getting a little bit of balance back, I think. But yeah. Sorpo says, if they want me to buy it again, I will for PlayStation 5. Dude, I bought the game for PlayStation 4 digitally. Then I bought it for PlayStation 4 physically just so I can have the box. Then I bought it for Xbox One. So, like, I bought it multiple times. And I bought The Last Campfire for Nintendo Switch. Like, I'm a Hello Games fan, dude. Like, I'm supporting their game. Like, no matter what. Like, at this point, I have so much respect for them as a developer that I'm going to support whatever they put out there. You know what I mean? As long as they don't, like, totally screw me over. It's just that the way they handled the aftermath of releasing this game, like, they're my favorite developer at this point. Dave Langer says, oh, nice streaming. Yeah, dog. First time in, like, 9 months. Dave Langer says, no wonder miss you because stupid YouTube unsubbed me. Yeah, I think because I haven't been uploading content as often, and if there's not a lot of interaction with the channel or something like that, I think that, like, either they kick subs off, or I don't know how any of that works. But I like to know that my little animation popped up whenever you subscribe, so I'm glad that's actually working because that was cool as shit. Stream Elements, my bot, says thanks for subscribing, Dave Langer. Yes, thank you for subscribing again. Arsenal says, with Abyss being the opposite of the Atlas, basically it's in yin and yang. It sets it up to try and destroy the universe Atlas made and make something new. Maybe not a universe wipe, but separate like Artemis. Ooh, I like that. And that's like so Matrix / like Inception, like a universe within a universe, like a dream within a dream kind of thing. That's crazy. I like that. Uh-oh, we got Tyler Thunder. What? Tyler Thunder says, sup, it's been a while. What is going on, Tyler Thunder? Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show. Dave Langer said, YouTube did it. Yep. We got Big Pidge in the chat. Says, hey, Panda and chat. What is going on, Big Pidge? Welcome back to the Hidden Panda Show. It's long time no see. Glad you guys were able to make it tonight. I was really worried that at the time I was going to go live, nobody was going to be able to show up, and I would just be talking about this update like by myself. So, super sick to see you guys here. Jabroni Beating says, after seeing the Dune movie trailer with the sandworm, I don't want a sandworm anymore. Dude, the Dune movie's going to be sick. Like, dude, they could not have picked a better person than Denis Villeneuve to, like, helm that movie. You know? Like, the way they did the shields and all that stuff. The Chris knife that, you know, he does the thing in the... like, it's so, like, to the book. Like, I'm so ready for it. Dave Langer says, I hope Origins means they are going back to the original version. I don't think so, Dave Langer. I mean, here's the thing, dude. I'm over it. I'm over the original version of the game. The game launched the way it launched. They added all these updates, and now it's something completely different. We have so much more than they ever promised. The game has an entirely different look and aesthetic. Some people don't like it. Some people really like it. I think the game looks better now than those E3 trailers. The only thing that I don't think looks better is like the creature animations, like the movement of the fauna, you know, in the worlds. But in terms of like the aesthetic of the game, I think it looks better now. Now the terrain looked better in Pathfinder, but I think like the graphics, the visuals, the fidelity, all of that, I think the game looks better now. I think that Origins literally means that like they're doing another major overhaul, much like Foundations and No Man's Sky Next. I think something's going to fundamentally change, right? I think the way the game looks, it is what it is. Like, I don't think that that's really changing, like, intrinsically. Like, I think it is what it is. But I think in terms of, like, the feature set, right, those are going to be the big changes. You know, if you guys go back and, like, look at the picture, right, on the, like, the actual... like the poster that they put on their website for the Origins update, the central avatar is like standing between 3 different biomes, and I think that there's a meaning behind that, right? I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but like in that picture, okay, there's like 3 separate biomes. There's like a desert biome, some sort of weird radioactive biome, and then like a lush biome. And the avatar in the middle is standing, both his feet occupy all 3 biomes, right? With a gas giant in the background, okay? And that's a gas giant in front of the Atlas, right? I think that what we're finally going to see is we're going to see multiple biomes on a single planet. So I think that some planets will have different, like, hemispheric zones. Like a tropical zone, a desert zone, like an ice cap, like that sort of thing. I think we're finally seeing planet variety, right? I've always prayed for like, planetary like disaster events. And not necessarily disaster events, but like better weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, better water visuals for like rivers and streams. So maybe we're going to get a little bit of that. Maybe we're going to get some enhancements with the animations. I'm thinking, multiple biomes on a planet would be really nice. Also, if you look at the No Man's Sky roadmap that had came out a while back, right? Pretty much like, and I got this on Reddit and it was partially marked out, but pretty much everything, if you go back and look at that roadmap, pretty much everything on that roadmap's been hit. Right, they got everything already from that roadmap, and I think that is Origins. It's like, okay, now we did everything. We got the multiplayer, we got the VR, we got the we added new planet biomes, we did better underwater shit. We added submarines. We did a mech suit. We did all this other stuff. Like this roadmap, we're done. Now this is Origins. Like we're doing something fresh. We're doing completely like varied planets, more animals, better weather. Like, I think that's where they're going with it. I think that's what we're going to see. I think the game is going to look very similar overall, but there's going to be more to do, more to explore, more to see, more cooperative gameplay, maybe better, more varied missions with better rewards. And the funny thing is I emailed Zendesk last night. And I want to know what you guys think about this idea. But I emailed Zendesk last night and I said, I got an idea on how you can enhance the overall core gameplay loop. And that idea is like this. When you discover a new star system in No Man's Sky, now, currently, you get there and there's already a space station filled with NPCs and ships. And there's already freighters popping in and out of the system. You might, get some pirates on your way to a particular planet. There's already trade outposts and advanced buildings, right? So you get there and you haven't discovered anything because there's already people there and a bunch of other stuff. So you just arrived where people are already at, right? That's like, Christopher Columbus discovered America, or like no, dude, people were already living here. Somebody else discovered it. You just kind of like, you discovered it for you, right? But like, it wasn't a new discovery. So none of the discoveries in No Man's Sky really feel unique except for the flora and fauna, where you actually get to scan them and name them and upload that data. So how cool would it be? And I really think that one day they're going to do this, and I hope maybe they do this with Origins. And again, give me your feedback. But I emailed them on this. And I think this is a great idea. And if anybody else agrees with me, I think they should email Zendesk as well and submit this as like an idea. Now, imagine you discover a star system on the star map, and you get to name the system, right? It's your system. You discovered that star. You get to name it. You have to visit the star first in order to name it. You can't just highlight it and name it because that wouldn't be fair, right? But once you arrive in the system, you can name the planets, the moons, and the star, okay? There is no space station, no NPCs, no trade outposts, nothing, right? But you have your visor. Now you scan the different flora, the different fauna, and all of that, and you scan the different rock formations and the different cadmium deposits and all these other things, and you upload that data. And when you upload that data, that information, kind of like at the weekend missions, right? At the Quicksilver store, where as the community completes the mission, it goes through like those 3 tiers. So give that scale, like those tiers. And as you discover things and upload things, it goes through these evolutionary tiers. And as you go through the tiers, things start happening, like new settlers show up and build little colonies or buildings on the planet, right? Manufacturing plants arrive to take advantage of some of the resources that are there. Then a trade out, but you hit another tier and a trade outpost gets built on a planet or what have you, or on several different planets. And then you hit another tier and now a space station shows up and freighters are coming in and out. And it's all because you discovered it. Now it really feels like you discovered it. So not only does that deepen your gameplay experience and the gameplay loop, but it also adds sort of like a reward system to discovering something. Because right now you discover something that there's already people at. You don't feel like you discovered anything, and your interactions with it are super limited to begin with. So you can add deeper interactions, a more rewarding experience. And I hope that like they tackle that with Origins, because they've had 4 years now to do something with that discovery system that, in my opinion, is like the weakest part of the game. I mean, yeah, it's cool to go out and explore, but there's no reward. There's nothing that drives you to do it. And at the end of the day, you don't feel like you discovered anything. And they need to make improvements to space. It just goes without saying. The most boring part about the game is navigating space. Everything is about the planets. Now, if that is the artist's intent, then fine. Okay, maybe they didn't give a shit about space when they made the game, and it was all about planetary exploration. If that's the case, then cool. But yeah, just like I said, Big Pidge in the chat, welcome back. Let's see here. We got I lost it. Dave Langer says, I think this will be a big update because the larger updates tend to have the character models. That's true. The really big ones have some sort of, obviously, except for the ones that they they didn't have character models when they made the thing for it. But yeah, ever since Atlas Rises, the big updates have shown sort of like the character on the artwork. So that's actually a pretty good call out there. Tyler Thunder says, I'm super excited for No Man's Sky Origins update. Dude, I think we all are. Anytime this game gets an update, it's really exciting. And what's funny about it is some of the updates aren't that great. But for other people, like for me, but then for other people, it's like a big hit. And then the ones that some people don't like those are the ones that I like. Like the Abyss update's one of my favorites ever. Pathfinder's one of my favorites ever. I love like the craters. I wish they were like on a planet they were like more varied instead of sort of the same sort of similar circumference all the way around. But it's kind of cool just seeing like these impact craters dotted around. And then when you're like actually in them and kind of get that sense of scale of it, it's pretty cool. Starkwolf says exomechs are so sick. Yes, they really are. I'd like to see more to do with them though. Maybe some sort of combat element or something else. There were some people speculating. I don't remember who it was exactly, but they think that the exomech was released early and that they intended it for a different update, but they figured since it was done and people were, that they were hungry for some more new content, they just went ahead and released exomech. I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of makes sense. Because it was a really small change to the game that a lot of people felt that it didn't need sort of its own space in the update saga for No Man's Sky. But I think it's pretty tight. Ballisticola says, I was always subscribed. Hey peeps, what is going on, Ballisticola? Dude, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping back by, dude. Welcome back to the Hidden Panda Show. J-Spot in the chat, dude. What is going on with the oranges? Hell yeah, dude. So excited for Origins, J-Spot. Tyler says, I agree with you, Dave. I think it'll be a big update too. .com in a chat. Welcome back, .com. Thank you for making it. What is up, dude? Big Pidge says, get to bed, Cola. It's almost 5 a.m. Oh, wait. It is for me too. That's right. You guys in the UK. Holy snaps. Well, thank you for taking time to be here. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by on my first stream in a long time. I couldn't help myself. I had to make time for it with the news that came out today. And hopefully I continue to make time for it. Like I said earlier, my kiddo's, she's almost 9 months old. She's sleeping a lot better, a lot more independent, a little bit more, she's crawling around. So I was going to say a little bit more manageable, but that's a goddamn lie. She's crawling around a lot now. So if you take your eyes off her, there's going to be straight havoc. But long story short is I'll be able to sort of be more engaged, I guess, with the community. As she gets older, it's becoming a little bit more easy to do that. Let's see here. I forgot where my ship was. Jabroni says, yeah, the creatures can still be improved. They can. The animations, I think that, there's a pretty decent variety of creatures. Obviously, I'd love to see more, and they can make more. They just need more artists working on the individual components that get kind of scrambled around to create the creature variety. And yeah, improved animations on them 100%. We got Plo617 in the chat. Welcome back, dude, to the Hidden Panda Show. Says, I just want more improvements towards exploration. I agree. And I think a big part of that improvement toward exploration is the discovery system and that sort of economic evolution system that I talked about to make discovering those systems more rewarding so that it drives you to discover more things. Maybe include some profit sharing so that there's a little bit of financial incentive as well for discovering new star systems and helping to set up colonies and outposts and create industries on these planets. J-Spot says, better atmospheric effects. Yes. Better atmospheric effects, more atmospheric effects. I want to hear thunder. I want to see lightning. Maybe on lush planets in certain areas, maybe won't be a bad idea to maybe have like a lightning strike and a forest fire. Just like even like little events like that. Kind of like little random events might be kind of cool to incorporate. .com says maybe add new planet type for multiple biomes and make them rare. I think almost everything in the game should be a lot more rare than it is. In my opinion, it actually cuts down on a lot of variety because they make it so accessible and so prevalent that it would give one the impression that there's not a lot of variety. And I remember in the early days of the game, you could get stranded on a planet if you went to it and didn't have enough resources to get the fuck off. You know what I mean? It could happen. you know, and most of the planets at that time were dead planets. You know, sometimes you had to warp 50 times just to even get one, find a planet that had life on it. You know, and I miss that. Not everybody did. People complained that it was too hard to find lush planets, and so they, you know, obviously they increased that. But I don't think they should have. I think that it was a terrible mistake, and that by doing so, it made things so easy to find that the game feels like there's less variety because the shit you're looking for is everywhere. Every planet is going to have some sort of life on it, some sort of flora or fauna or combination of both of them. I think that they can increase variety in terms of individual assets in game while simultaneously decreasing the availability of those things to have like an exponential increase in the appearance of a drastic higher degree of variety. So they can attack it on two fronts. I mean, let me know if you kind of disagree with that assessment, but I feel like, you know, I feel like that is a smart way to handle that, and it increases the survival aspects of the game and makes it a little bit more intense. JSpot says, but goodcallout.com. JSpot says, flowing liquid, yes. Water does not run in No Man's Sky. Now, 6 people in a closet in England made the game, and the game basically generates itself off the CPU. So I can understand that there's going to be certain limitations, but I think the team is big enough now, and Hello Games has money enough now that, you know, they can kind of get to work on that. Now, obviously, I don't mean that in sort of like an overly cynical and critical kind of way. I just mean that, you know, this is their technology. They're ahead of everybody on this. And, you know, running water, if they're able to pull that off, it would be pretty amazing. I don't know if you remember the GDC talk that Sean Murray and I forget his name now. Something McKendrick, N.S. McKendrick. But they were talking at the GDC conference, and he was saying that because of they actually made the planets spherical, and so tracking certain things on an object that has a curve to it mathematically is very difficult. So then now if you try to like add water that's flowing actively across a curving surface, that becomes even more difficult than normal. So I think that it's something that they've always struggled doing, and I'm sure that they've wanted to add like better water visuals, like VFX and stuff like that, but they just can't. You know, it's probably super difficult. The maths involved in doing that would just be insane. Jabroni Beating says, "Oh my God, I remember now. We wanted zoned biomes on a planet." Yeah, I honestly, Jabroni, I think we're actually getting them with this update. Big Pitch says, "Not sure how hard it would be to make procedurally, but I'd love rivers, waterfalls, flowing water in general." Big Pitch, so just like I said, there was actually a GDC talk where they said that it's very difficult. They didn't say impossible, but just difficult, because the planets in No Man's Sky are round. It's not like it's round and as you get closer, it like flattens out because it's like a trick of perspective. Like, no. Like the world is round from the moment that you fly toward it and land on it and walk around it. It is in fact a round planet. And so tracking those things across a surface like that would be super difficult, I would imagine. They did a whole GDC talk about it. You can find, I think it was the 2017 GDC talk actually. But I would recommend checking that out because they actually directly talk about that very thing. And there's a whole interesting conversation behind it where a lot of games that take place in space where the planet appears to be round as you approach it, and it's a trick of perspective. It starts to flatten out closer to the surface, and then the map is generated on a flat terrain, which is much easier to program. but Hello Games wanted it to be a world, a globe, and that's how they wanted it. That's how they designed it. But in doing so, it presented additional challenges that it's difficult for them to account for. Let's see here. Big Pitch says, beat me to it, J-Spot. Plo says, I really hope that we get a space update one day. God, I know, dude. I'm really, really waiting on that. Like the moment I see an update that says No Man's Sky Expanse, I'll shit my own pants, dude. Like, I'm waiting on that so bad right now. Like, I really want that. Let's see here. So much in the chat. Everybody's killing it. And I pride myself on reading this stuff. Let's see. Starkwolf says, DK. I know, dude. He was here. Where were you at? I'm joking. Ballista says, we have empty systems now, but the tier thing is great. Well, the only systems that are empty are the abandoned ones with the broken space stations. Or I forget those stars that you go to that don't have the space stations, but they will still tend to, but you can't change it, is what I'm getting at. So when you discover those systems that don't have anything there, you can't change it at all. You can't introduce anything. You have no effect on it. But Bill Cole, I'm glad you like that idea. I think it's just a good way to handle that, and it just adds a deeper layer to exploration in the game. Dave Langer says, the systems that don't have space stations should let us build our own. Yeah, I love that idea. It's a great idea. Got Agent Tomcat in the chat, says, hello, what is going on? Or hello. Sounds like a Bosnian greeting. Is that a Bosnian greeting? Because I would then follow that up with hollow as well. Kakosti. Arsenal says, there's already empty systems with no space stations. I kind of thought it was weird at the time to put it in the game, but seems like they've set the stage for themselves for what you just described. Ooh, Arsenal, if they put that there as something to come back to later and revisit and expand upon, that would be pretty sick. I can kind of see them doing that. Good call out. Starkle says FDI capital system is going to move again if that's the case, Panda, which would be sick. We create the Delta Trade, Commerce, and Hub. Dude, yes. Yes, absolutely. Getting big shout outs for Tomcat in the chat by Arsenal. Jabroni says asteroid stations is still a possibility. That would be cool. Like a kind of like, I don't know if you guys watch The Expanse, but like Ceres station. Like having sort of like this industrial sort of outpost on an asteroid, like a mining colony. That would be pretty sick. We've got Hidden Jew in the chat, says, Panda, what is going on? Hidden? Hell yeah. Arsenal says, rock 'em, sock 'em, Exomex. I know, like, duke it out, battle 'em. Exomech was leaked, wasn't it? Possibly. And I know I'm way behind on the chat here. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit. We got Caroline Kelly. What is going on? Welcome back to the Hidden Panda Show. So nice of you to stop by. Origins equals Foundations 2.0. That is a great and simple way to put it. Great call out. That is... Yes, I could... Oh, you know what? I'm being dumb. I always forget this about the XMX. That way I don't die while I read these. Everyone, just take in the glory that is Panda Ship. I'm hoping for multiple biomes. Hidden, I think that's what we're getting, man. That's what we've been talking about all chat so far, is multiple biomes. So it's interesting to see that we're all sort of on that same page with that. It's a beautiful thing. Dave Langer says, they need to add planet-like structures like those derelict freighters. Having derelict ruins to explore would go a long way for exploration. Yes. I got it. That would be so sick.
Yes. Dude, I think Hidden also loves that idea. If I had to guess, I'm not that far down in the chat yet, but I bet he probably responded to that. Caroline Kennedy giving Tomcat some shout outs. Dude, TC in the house. So much TC love going on, dude. Tomcat, thanks for stopping by, bro. The cover image for the update seems to indicate multiple biomes. Anyone else think so? I definitely think so. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, that center avatar is literally both feet are occupying all three biome zones that's depicted there. And I think that that's intentional. I think that, I could be reading into it. Arsenal says some auroras would be cool around the poles for atmospheric effects. Yes, that would be sick. Being able to kind of see them from space and then land on the planet and only see them where they actually physically are and have to travel to that location and see them at night. And that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see different day-night cycles. I feel like the day-night cycles are very fast in this game, and they should be varied. With some planets, having all day, on one side of the planet and all night on the other. I think that'd be cool, especially if they do the multiple biome thing. You can have a planet that one side of it, because it's always facing the sun, is just toast. It's completely unlivable. It's just always hot. And then on the other side, it's just a barren, cold, dark wasteland. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, just kind of jumping off of the different poles and atmospheric effects and all that, they can kind of go deep in that, and that will help with the variety as well. Hidden says, "What's up, everyone?" NoobTube says, "I just want to thank everyone that pitched in to expand the Delta Vista project." Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm not really versed at this moment in any of the new work that you guys may or may not have done there. I haven't been in that group since we first tried to build Delta Vista. So if you guys have done new stuff, I need to look into it and see what you guys have done. NewTube says, that shit is like my jam. Hidden Jew says, Origins. I know, dude. I'm so hyped. And we're getting it next week. That could be Monday, Tuesday. What day of the week do you guys think we're going to get it? J-Spot says, animal behavior. This update is making me want to strap nipple clips on me and tie them to the door and slam them shut. I'm so hyped. Yes, bro. Yes. Legend has it that procedure is how they get pepperonis. Arsenal says, I think they should play with gravity more like they did with dead airless worlds, even heavy gravity that just kills your jetpack fuel. That's a good idea. And they've been toying around with gravity. If you think about like the derelict freighters, there's objects floating around in there that if you bump into them, they just kind of drift off. So that you can tell that they're doing a little bit of experimentation with the gravity thing. They said tracking water on a sphere is very hard. See, Stark Wolf caught on. Absolutely. David Langer said this would be the perfect update to add in planet rotation and orbits. 100%. 100%. .com says, I have to wonder if Origins might also indicate something for the lore or something about the origins of the 3 NPC species or the creation of the Atlas itself. I love the lore of No Man's Sky.com. And I actually like it more than like the catered stories, sort of like coming across the ambient lore. Kind of like what happens in Elite Dangerous. And I would love for them to give you more story, like more active story lines and dialogue and things like that. But what I want to see is I want to see a lot more lore throughout the world as well. I always love with these updates when they add like lore to the world that some people may or may never discover. Tomcat says, yeah, Dave, I'd love to see orbital mechanics added back in. They took them out during development because the playtesters said it was too confusing, but I still want to see it. I could understand that at that time, but also look at Elite Dangerous. That game does it, and it's not that hard. Newtude says, do you think that they would do something in depth with underwater physics? I think that the day that we get flowing water is the day that they do something like that. But right now, water in No Man's Sky, for all intents and purposes, is just a texture. It's just a two-dimensional texture with no physics associated with it at all, really. None in any sort of realistic degree, anyway. But yeah, Starkwolf says they did have planetary rotation in the beginning, but they took it out before launch because it confused playtesters. Hidden Juice said Panda watched me for an hour or more, trip from the sky, and watch me drive to a portal. Yes, I remember that. I need to find those screenshots. I took multiple screenshots. This was in Atlas Rises of his player icon literally coming from the back side of the planet over the top and around to the front. Like, it was... It really, at that point, it gave me mad respect for Hello Games because it's an actual planet. Like, it doesn't just look like a planet from the outside and you land on it and it's just randomly generating the terrain as you walk up on it. I mean, it is doing that to an extent, but it is in fact it's a fucking planet. It's a whole planet, and it's round and it's glorious, and you can walk around it. But yeah. Let's see here. Agent Tomcat says, I want to be able to visit those massive freighters in the void between stars and have adventures out there. Yes. Jabroni says, waterfalls may be double, but doing generated side may be difficult. Not sure what you mean there. NoobTube says, things like more refined physics underwater or alternative gravity is big time game changing. I agree. But what about floating around my ship? Dude, that would be cool. Like, just being able to jump out of your cockpit and spacewalk, you know? That would be sick. I mean, you do have a jetpack. Why not? Let's see. Agent Tomcat says, in line with that Rock'em Sock'em exomech idea, how insanely cool would it be to be an exomech in VR and have the arms of the exomech itself mimic your character's arms like an avatar? That's cool. Hell yeah. Dave Langer says, also in those ruins, you could add puzzles like they have in the last campfire to give a tad of a challenge. Dave, you might be onto something. Maybe they will add something like that. And you must solve the puzzles to behold the ruins' treasures. I just wanted to have that creepy moment. It just seemed like a good time to have it. But no, great call out, Dave. I can totally see them doing that. You know, and after a game like Last Campfire, like you can really tell that Hello Games does know how to build a well-rounded game. I mean, the reviews that game is getting is pretty incredible. People are just universally enjoying the Last Campfire, and there's good gameplay value and a great storyline and you know, puzzles that are fun and engaging, but not, you know, like crazy difficult. So, who's Magic? Somebody said, "Hey, Magic." I don't see Magic. Where's their Magic? I don't see it. Let's see here. Starkwolf says Friday next week equals Origins. Oh, you think it's going to be Friday? I think it's going to be like Tuesday, dude. I mean, maybe it's just a pipe dream because I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm getting Tuesday vibes, man. You know, but it's completely baseless. That's just an emotional feeling. Exomech battle against biological horror queen. I'm loving these ideas. Oh my god, Jabroni, that's so sick, dude. What? Yes. You have to go into the caves and you have to fight the biological horrors, and at the end, the queen, and you have to kill her. That's such a good idea. Okay, guys, like these ideas, I hope like Hello Games like gets to see this and like see what's happening in this chat, because that's sick, dude. I love that. Love that. Arsenal says, just the idea of a biological horror queen, mind blown. I know, we had the same reaction. That's crazy. Damn, I miss Speculation Station. I want everyone's ideas built into the game. Sean, you here? Dude, we got to find a way to get him to watch it, man. But dude, that means a lot to me that you miss Speculation Station streams. You know, everybody out there always hating on speculation. Like, dude, it's fun. You know, just don't be a one of those kind of people where it's like you start expecting shit now. Like, you know, we're just chatting it up. What is this, diamonds? God damn, let me in. Alright, that's made out of like Zeus's bones. Will this work? Bro, legit, they don't want me to hide. Alright, can I fly up out of this? I'm panicking right now. Bro, it's glitching out right now. But that's cool. I can't die in here, so. Let's see. No, I totally can die in here. I got too cocky. Last Campfire is so good. I'm taking my sweet time with it. I know I kind of took a break because I don't want to finish the story just yet. Because like I cranked out like a bunch of time right off the bat with it, and I was like, "This is too good. I need to savor this." Make enough origins, and maybe we can summon the Murray. Yes, just put a bunch of orange emojis. I'm Magic. What up, Magic? I didn't see the thing earlier, so when people were like calling you out up there, I was like, I don't even see it. Welcome back, dude. Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show. New2 says, hey, just for your information, I am trying to chime in, but can't hear everything. I don't get what you mean. Starpool says, everyone take a minute, notice how shit of an exomech pilot Panda is by trying to jump up the same cliff 100 times. I was so distracted by the conversation, and I recognized myself doing it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting up here. It doesn't work like the exosuit. Panda, that's magic within. I said hi to. It's a Murray seance. Yes. You know, I have the best ideas for games, movies, and shows, but you shouldn't phrase it like that. You should be a little bit more humble, jabroni. But also, you kind of do. Dave Langer says, I really hope we get a trailer with that woman's voiceovers. I miss the trailers with her. I know. Have you played The Last Campfire, Dave Langer? There's like this like Icelandic woman, and she like does all the narration. It's so good. Panda says, Panda, that's a generation issue with terrain. You couldn't mine the terrain because of it. Ah. Tomcat with the banana eyes. Hell no, dude. That's so funny. We got TSS Game in the chat. Says, hi all, how are we? We are doing well, TSS. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show, dude. Nice to see you in here. Dave Langer says, slightly off topic, Panda, you need to play Ghost of Tsushima. I do play Ghost of Tsushima. And they're going to add a co-op version, and we are going to get to play it. So, heck yeah. I can't die in here. Shield damage detected. Dude, y'all hating, bro. You guys are hating so hard right now. That's hilarious, Arsenal. But that's true. I'm like, I can't die in here. I'm like, literally, like, my life force is depleting as I speak. Kiwi eyes. Damn, dude, Ghost of Tsushima is excellent, Dave Langer. It's excellent. Easily one of my favorite games on the PlayStation console. It just and the Japanese culture and the samurai culture, I love it. When I beat the game, I'm probably gonna play it back over with Japanese language, English subtitles, in Kurosawa mode, just to get that OG. Sean Murray, I summon you. Hell yeah. Got to do it, Panda. Been too long. .com says, had to jump off for a bit. They're back now. That's what's up, dude. And then Tomcat with the food eyes. We got pizza, bananas, kiwis. Damn. Ah, it's your game of the year. Nice. Dang, got to go to bed. Night, y'all. Catch the rest of the stream tomorrow. Have a good one, Stark Wolf. I got work in the morning, so I'm going to be getting off here pretty soon as well. I intended on this to be a short stream, but I had exactly the conversations that I wanted to have about Origins. So I'm having a great time. So thank you guys for stopping by, like, seriously. FDF for life. That's what's up, dude. I feel like we've built such a great community there, and it's definitely because of you guys. And I always feel bad for, like, not hanging around as much as I used to, and you guys are always so welcoming when I come back. The FDI truly is a special place for us, man. What is that thing with the bone in it? Arsenal says, later start, FDI. Yes. Pizza summons Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That'd be sick. What if that was like one of the species you could play in the game was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Wait, what is this thing? Oh, that's a storm crystal in it. Yep. No, it didn't. You're lying. Dave Langer, don't do me like that, bro. No trailer drop, dude. Did it? I'm being pranked, bro. Yeah, dude, totally got pranked. Man, you got me. Nah, I'm kidding. But that last time I said that, you thought I was joking, and it was, dude. We got to see the trailer for that like literally before 99% of people. It was awesome, and it happened live. That was sick. I'll never forget that, Dave Linger. That was sick. TSS says, so what do we think Origins is about? Condensed, so you don't have to explain all again. Multiple biomes per planet was sort of one of the biggest ones we got. Better weather. So like newer weather and better like weather animations and so on. And then what else was there, guys? Do you guys remember like kind of what all we went over? I know that there was like, it was like multiple biomes on a planet. We kind of talked about toying with gravity a little bit more. Frozen tubers. I actually have never seen these. Yeah, so we talked about toying around with gravity, being able to like spacewalk, really all kinds of different stuff. We talked about exploring star systems, like, and having like a tiered system, that the system evolves over time, the economy, settlements, all that stuff. So when you first get there, there's nothing, and then it evolves over time. Gas giants was one of them. Yep. We all admitted, damn you, Dave. I know, dude. I literally, my phone was like right here, and I was like instantly like scrolling through, like trying to figure it all out. Gas giant, says Dave Langer. Yeah, it's clearly in that artwork that is a gas giant. There's no doubt about it. So we're definitely getting more planetary variety in terms of types of planets. but then also like biome variety on those planets as well. So, but here's an example of why I wish we had like a slower day-night cycle on a lot of planets, because it's so drastic. It just so immediately goes from like nighttime to daytime. It's crazy. I mean, you got to think about, okay, if that's the case, these planets are spinning around really, really quick. Jabroni says, biomes, waterfalls, asteroid stations, gas giants, and biological horror queen. Dude, the biological horror queen idea is one of my favorites. Because that would just be super cool. You combine that with like Dave Langer's like dungeon puzzles, you know? And like having like a boss at the end, did you tie that all together? That'd be cool. TSS says, gotcha. I was thinking something about the first spawn or something related to the start of the game with the name Origins, back to the beginning. But yeah, so Origins, you could look at it as like back to the beginning, but it also means like the start of something new. Dave Langer says, we probably won't get this, but I'd love to see them fix the pop-in. If they port the game to PlayStation 5 with that super fast SSD, they won't fix it totally, but they can, on PC, the pop-in is significantly less problematic than it is on console. And I would imagine with the PlayStation 5 having, you know, the graphics card that it's got and that ultra-fast custom SSD, like, and some of the other custom hardware that it has, that like literally, makes serious enhancements towards procedural generation, that I would imagine that, yeah, there's going to be some, if they port this to PS5, there's going to be some major optimizations with it, for sure. I read that first as asteroid gas stations. Hell no. That's hilarious. Let's see here. So the actual definition of the word origin is the point or place where something begins, arises, or is derived. And they said that it was, they named it Origins because it's like new, right? It's like something new in the game. So they literally said that in, like, if you go back and like look at the website there's a little thing, like a thing on the website about No Man's Sky Origins, and it literally says why they named it Origins, and it talks about how it's like it's going to be like new shit. So I don't think that there's anything to do with anything previous in this coming update. I think that it's going to be different than we've ever seen before in terms of the features that they're adding and what we're going to be doing in game. So I think that the game is going to look relatively similar, but I think that they're going to add more game to it. More objectives, more things to do. I do so love the idea that we might see Gek Origins as well. That'd be cool. Like the Korvax homeworld. I wish we would, like, all of the lore. I wish we had like expansions where we could kind of like dive into those different storylines and eras. That would be cool. I'd pay for that. Imagine No Man's Sky and that new Unreal Engine. I know, my God, I know. And you know, whenever Pathfinder came out and No Man's Sky did HDR, for a long time, even people who didn't like the game or who weren't very kind about the game said that No Man's Sky had one of the best implementations of HDR of any game available. That it utilized it the most effectively and the best. So, you know, I think that these guys can do a lot with graphics. I mean, dude, think about how small this team was and how incredible this game actually is, you know? Dude, I miss my Boltcaster being fully automatic. What about the worm thing that Sean dropped on Twitter? I know, like, about the dune sandworms. We were talking about that earlier. I don't particularly care about that, but it would be cool to see. Maybe we'll get to see new lore about the Atlas. That'd be sick. Dude, last days on Earth 72. What is up, man? Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show. I hope that they make no HUD completely possible. You could do no HUD right now. I mean, you might like be dying and shit, but like you could do it. You might not be able to find anything, but you could do it. I love Unreal Engine, but I need to learn how to use it. You must harness its powers. Go take a look at another planet. I got a room. I wanted to stop by and say hi. Good to see you. Have a good night. Have a good night, man. Dave Langer said, one thing I really want is a real survival mode that is a challenge. No Man's Sky needs a challenge. I agree. It either needs a challenge or it needs a better reward system and far more things to do. But you got to be careful with this community, man. You start like making any kind of suggestions or saying anything that could be perceived as negative, and people will start like calling you like a hater, and you know you're not a fan, and you know all that kind of shit. So maybe we got to cool it a bit. Hashtag combat update. Yes, dude. This isn't really my ship that I've got equipped to do space battles either. What? Why am I getting combat frigates? I've been playing permadeath no HUD. Dave Langer says, "Oh, I love taking those people on Twitter. I just throw my 2,500 hours in No Man's Sky in their faces." Yeah. The dream space game would be taking the best from Elite Dangerous and the best from No Man's Sky and making it one game. I really, dude, I want to start doing Elite on the channel. Like, I'm really excited about that Odyssey update. I think that it's gonna over time, not right away, just because the features I know that they're not going to have. But just I was watching Obsidian Ant's video about what they plan on adding, like being able to walk around space stations and eventually like ship interiors and stuff like that. I think that if they do it right, they'll be able to directly compete. I think with Star Citizen to a degree, if they pull that off well. Panda, have you seen the No Man's Sky mods posted on Twitter? Nope. The cities with the freighters flying over it, breathtaking. I don't think so. I don't get on Twitter as much as I used to, because just like the politics shit that you run into by accident sometimes. It's just, this year is overwhelming. I try not to be on social media very much. Same J-Spot. I just like to time myself so I can repair my ship with no HUD and permadeath. My fastest is like 38 minutes. Done it like 50 times. Nice. Also, when that comes out, ED will be on PlayStation 5. Just hope they do an optimization for it. Of course they will. Elite's like one of the best optimized games out there. Dude, we got Sword in the chat. What is up, man? Thanks for stopping by, dude. Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show. You came on just as I was about to end it, dude. Oh, I haven't talked to Sword in forever. Dave Langer says, today was a bad day, too. Rest in peace, RBG. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime a Supreme Court justice, you know, that's a lifetime appointment. It's a sad thing. It's always a sad thing. Hey, Sword. Dude, what is going on, Sword? How have you been, by the way? Every time Sword goes live, I'm, like, at work or something like that. Or, like, getting ready to put the baby to sleep, and I can never get there live. And then I end up trying to, like, get bits and pieces of it later. Just like Cobra, like whenever Cobra goes, like I'm at work and I try to get like little bits and pieces of his Star Citizen stuff, like the Free Fly weekend and all that. I wanted to kind of see that. Never wasn't able to really get around to it, and I kept seeing all the stuff about it. And then when the stream actually went, I just couldn't make it on. Couldn't get there. Sucks. Yes, everybody give Sword some love in the chat. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. I was going to show you guys something real quick. Because we were kind of talking about like old No Man's Sky. Let's see here. I forget where the gallery's at. There it is. And this isn't my original console I got No Man's Sky on. But kind of just want to look at some of the older ones for nostalgia purposes. Oh, just wrapped up Star Citizen. Nice. Yeah, I saw that you went live earlier, and I was like, oh, damn, he's going live around the same time that I went live. And luckily, I was able to, or not able to, but my PlayStation had to do an update, which kind of pushed me back a bit, so I started a little bit later. So didn't have to really compete with your time slot there. Because I know a lot of we share a lot of viewers in common. This planet looks totally different now. This was the portal address to my original home planet. It looks nothing like it used to look, and it was one of my favorite places where I ever built a base and called a home in No Man's Sky. But this is sort of the terrain generation of that planet, and like the colors and the stalactites and all that. Kind of miss this. At one point, I ended up having a lot of comm balls there where they almost kind of went around the portal. But see, a lot of people say that like the older versions of the game like looked better, and they might have been more colorful. The landscape might have been more jagged and sort of undulating and all those sorts of things. And so there was definitely like a different appeal there. But if you look at these carefully and you look at the game that we have now, I think that what you'll find, you know, once you get past the nostalgia, is that the game as it stands is the best looking version we've had yet. I think that if they made certain changes to the terrain generation to kind of make it look more alien and more crazy like what we're seeing here, I think it'll go a long way. But the game, that the way that it looks now in terms of the graphic fidelity and everything, I think is, you know, in my opinion, Atlas looked better. I know. Pathfinder was kind of one of my favorites. I think that's when terrain actually looked the best, was during Pathfinder. I think planets from space looked better back in the day. The only problem is that they didn't look anything like they looked from space on the surface. But the way that the clouds and everything looked from space, I think looked better. But I love the terrain of like the older versions of the game. I don't like how the planets in the sky are just white circles now. There's definitely. I mean, I think there might be like more realism to that because you've got atmosphere and stuff in the way, and so maybe that's more realistic. But it does look better. Like if you look at this planet here in this one, and you can see like some of the details from that distance, and it made for like better moments in that regard. And I'd like to see some of that. So even though I believe the game we have now, fidelity wise, is much better, I want to see some of these like little touches that made this a little bit more special in some of the older versions here. You can see like the little independent phrase and all that, like the thistles coming off of it. We have that now, obviously. That's nothing really new. But I kind of... Oh, here's a really good one. I think this is a really good example. I mean, if you just look at that, it's just the other planets in the system that were visible from another planet. It just, to me, like those sorts of like little things were much nicer looking. Like here's another example. So these are the sorts of things that like I really want them to bring back. Look at the texture that you can see from space. Now, admittedly, you would like land on that planet and it would probably look nothing like that. But that looks more like AR. What does that mean, Sword? AR. So Atlas Rises. Yeah, this was Atlas Rises. A lot of my Pathfinder stuff, if it's not on social media, I don't have it anymore because when I upgraded to the PS4 Pro, I forgot to transfer my screenshots off of there. But I do have on my Facebook and some other places, I do have some Atlas Rises screenshots or Pathfinder screenshots. But yeah, these that you're seeing, this is from Atlas Rises. I'm pretty sure. Or not. No, actually, I think this is in fact Pathfinder. I'd have to look at the time. No, the First Traveler, Artemis. Yeah, so this is Atlas Rises. Yeah, my Pathfinder stuff is on an older system. So if it's not on social media, no one's ever gonna find it. Oh, the Unification Day, I think, is what this one was. But I kind of like, I think that Hello Games at some point, they're going to find a good balance of the old and new. I think they're going to find a way to generate interesting terrain while making it look more reasonable and realistic. I think that it's more effective when it's identifiably closer to reality. But at the same time, it needs to feel alien. And now that we have a sense of scale and a character model, and things are sized appropriately, and we've got better graphic capabilities, with some of the optimizations that they've made and everything else, I think that they can kind of go back and take a look at this and maybe try a few things. But I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that like, I think the graphics are better now, but the terrain generation was better then? Would you guys agree with that statement? Yeah, this is my old home planet.
You know you're like live over the internet.
I don't know what I was going to say there, so I had to get out of that situation quick. Oh, yeah, we're coming up on some good ones here. They need to have most planets feel alien. I'm right there with you, Dave. I mean, just the formations, the way that the land would like sweep up and form these huge like outcroppings with these jagged spires coming from them, and yeah. Oh, these are pretty cool. So this is obviously Atlas Rises when we first got the exotic ships. But just have a couple look at have a look at a few of these. The fidelity of the game is better now. I agree. I like the detail, but I like the look of the game. Like you said, the terrain of the game in the older versions, like Atlas and Pathfinder. Yeah. J Spot says it's more polished now. It is. It's much more polished now. So that if we can take what we have now and then add a little bit of that old spice back to it, I think that we'll be a lot closer to what I think everyone is trying to achieve when they talk about like that E3 look. Jabroni says if they move around some of the body parts of the creatures, it would look a lot more alien for sure. J Spot says, but in that they lost some of the savageness. Yeah, that's true. You mean like in the new versions where the quality of the detail is higher, it lost some of that savageness? I would agree with that because these older terrain formations, it looked a lot more alien. It looked a lot more inhospitable. But at the same time, it had sort of like a desolate beauty to it. Like, look at these like random like triangles, like here. And like the little pock marks on that planet and all of that. This was my old home planet. This one for sure. Because it had those exact butterflies and I always tried to take pictures of them whenever I could. I think the reason why they went the way they did was because of all the vehicles people kept complaining about. That's true. That's true. Especially like my home planet. Like just look at the whole entire planet was like this and had like giant mountains and like stuff. Like you could not. It was impossible to drive in a straight line anywhere. I've never really like thought about it that deep, Dave, but that is 100% true, dude. Never really thought about it like that, but yeah. Oh, just look at that. Just look at that. That's a good one. That's a good one. I miss this planet. When I built a few different bases around this time between Foundations and Atlas Rises, but when I found this place, and it was a radioactive planet and very difficult to live on, but it made for just some of like the best screenshots. And when I found this planet, it was very difficult for me to leave. And I discovered it on my way to the Galactic Hub, and when I found it, I just quit trying to get there. And Hidden actually came and kind of picked me up and helped me get to the Galactic Hub. But first, we ended up building a circuit board farm, and he built a fusion igniter farm because we wanted to be billionaires by the time that we got there. And so I made my first billion on this planet. But yeah, oh, this is the planet that Hidden was talking about, where I followed him around the entire planet, front to back. It was this exact one. He came through a portal and was trying to like, I forgot, there was a way to like have somebody come through a portal and then you could get them to like save on the other side of it or whatever, so that like they were in that system now. I forgot how we used to do it back then, but he like the area that he needed to go to was like 6 hours away, And I sat there with him the whole time and watched him go around the entire planet. Yeah, so this is it right here. So this is Hidden actually going around the entire planet. And so that's him in the car. And this is when we first figured out that the game actually was using spherical planets. That it wasn't like an optical illusion, that they were in fact spherical. J-Spot says, it was eerie playing the game late at night. It was, especially the creepy sounds and the desolateness of it. Jabroni says, add some sand particle effect would make planet better and not just bus of clouds. True. Dave Langer says, here's a crazy idea. What they should do for each galaxy is make each galaxy a different prog-gen version of the game. I think I've heard somebody say that before, and that's kind of an interesting concept, if I'm being honest. And then this is where he's just coming around, wrapping around the planet. And I literally just sat in space outside the planet and watched him do it. And I would fly down every now and again just to see where he was and like watch his like little marker trace across the landscape. But yeah, freaking, I could not believe that they actually just made like round around a planet. It kind of blew my mind. Because I thought that it was just an optical illusion. I thought once you landed on the planet that all of that just actually changed, but it didn't. Ah, yeah, there's the one. And I'm watching him. And at this point, I guess the planet was like this. I guess planets rotated at this point during this time frame. And so I'm just sitting in the same spot, and he's kind of going around, but the planet's like friggin' moving, and he's coming up over the top of it. But yeah, I miss being able to play in different camera filters. I know. I feel like that's such an easy thing to add back. Yeah, where's my base? Where I think this might be it. Where I built my circuit board farm. Yeah, this was sort of like the beginnings of it. And that's all it was. It was literally just for building circuit boards. It did nothing different. I think this might actually be like a clip of that farm. Oh no, this is Hidden's farm. This is where he made fusion igniters.
I don't have enough inventory space to really pick that stuff.
Man. Ah, there's my farm. This is where I made my first billion right here. Man, I miss this, man. I don't know why I don't have it in me right now. I guess because base building has changed so much that I haven't really been able to get my head around it. But I don't know why I don't have that same desire to kind of like build something like this again. And this was really small. It was just very purpose built, just only for that one reason, to just build circuit boards on this planet. And I friggin' loved it. Like, just checking on my crops, picking them, making my money. And then me and Hidden, once we would harvest our bases, then we would fly to each other's bases and harvest each other's bases. And so, I mean, we had this operation going where we were hammering out a pretty good amount. But yeah. And I had the best damn view on this planet too. It was literally looking at the 3 planets on the horizon at the top of this, almost at the top of this particular mountain. But yeah, anyway, probably boring you guys with all that crap. But it's just kind of interesting to kind of go back and like look, right? Just to see where everything was, where we came from, what it used to look like. Did you ever visit Old Rainbow Sherbert from Atlas Rises? Probably one of the best planets I've ever seen to this day. Yeah, and I got a ton of screenshots of it somewhere. Hello Games actually said before Atlas Rises went to Next they actually posted and said that Rainbow Sherbet was the most beautiful planet in the galaxy. John Hall has the honor of that statement from Hello Games. 100%. And it was John Hall that founded Arsenal. Absolutely. Yeah. I love this ship. What the hell? That's pretty sick. Dark Lord Zelric, what's going on, man? Welcome back to the Hidden Panda Show. Good to see you around. So Dark Lord says, my prediction of what is to come, Nova is next because Origins visions the Abyss. Huh. J-Spot says derelict bases. That would be cool. I could totally see that. That'd be a nice touch for sure. Yeah. I like the idea of derelict bases. Oh, where's my ship? I love how we can change freighter colors now. That was a good touch. Because I had my first S-Class freighter ever, but it was this weird orange color that I wasn't a big fan of. And I was able to change it to... Like, I like grays and whites in this game for some reason. For my ships. Like, if you guys saw my ships, they're all some version of gray or white. And I don't really deviate from that a whole lot. Oh yeah, my frigates. I blew all my money upgrading my ship inventory before for all my ships before I understood how scrapping worked. And so I went from like 4 billion units to like probably 600 or 700 million, and I'm back up to 900 million. So I'm no longer a billionaire, but yeah, amassing a decent little fleet here. For some reason though, I cannot get my freighter landing bay to change from the original color that it was. So it's always been stuck in this like orange color for some reason. I can't seem to figure out how to change it. I don't know if everyone's having that issue, or if it's a glitch or what. Dave Langer says, also searching those derelict bases or ruins should give us a rare item at the end, like a multi-tool or suit piece, so that we want to explore. Yeah, and if you don't need it or you don't like it, you can drop it or sell it. No, I agree. And it should be like high value. And it should be like, there should be like legendary, epic, like... you know, I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like friggin' Destiny or something like that, but I mean, I get what you're going for there. So yeah, so this is like a gray color. My freighter's a gray color. All my ships are a gray color. I love this touch. I love the touch of the NPCs actually coming out and doing like a post-flight check on their spacecrafts. Oh yeah, my living ship, baby. I got some more upgrades to do on that, but that's a good one. This guy right here, dude, that vertical wing mid-size hauler, I love that thing. And when we got the ability to upgrade the inventory, that was the first ship I did where I upgraded it to 48 slots. I was super excited about that one. And then we got the fighter fleet here. And the big guns at the back. Man. Arsenal oranges for safety. Hell yeah. Tomcat says, I can't change my freighter colors. The menu is available, but all the colors have a lock icon. I think you have to buy the upgrade for that at the Space Anomaly. I can't remember because it's been a while since I did it. But once you unlocked it, you always have access to it. Let me go to it. I don't know anything about what is in Origins, but the new exotic planet looked cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited that there's an update. You know, it could be a small one. Who cares? The fact that they're still working on it and giving us like additional unique experiences to this game, I'm plenty happy with that. I mean, obviously I have a wish list, but I mean, dude, I can't fault a company for giving us, you know, a dozen free updates and like, you know, 100 patches over 4 years for free, without charging a single dime in DLC or microtransactions. So, I mean, Hello Games, that like, if every company followed their business model, gaming would be a much better industry. Nanites to unlock Tomcat, I believe. Yes, it does require nanites. No Man's Sky needs a good loot. Making it like Borderlands with its loot would be great. They can't make it too gamey because the game is about exploration. They need to add more gameplay depth to it, but they got to be careful with making it too gamey, because I think that'll turn a lot of people off. Because for a lot of people, it's a really chill game, and they can keep it chill and ambient, but still add depth. But I like where you're going, Dave Langer, but they gotta keep it a little shrunk on that, right? They can't go too crazy. Hey Panda, what do you think about Destiny beginning redesigned in feudal Japan-like theme? Huh? I'm not aware of that. Oh no, that's the warp menu. Damn it, get out of there. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I think you have to buy the additional colors. Where was it? It was like, okay, purchase upgrades. You scroll over to the right, so you use your L1, R1, and then you purchase the colors here. And this is how many nanites they cost. And then as you purchase them, you unlock those base colors. And then those base colors can then... Can I just jump one menu item back? Jesus. And then those base colors can then be mixed and matched into these different varieties here. So you get your primary, secondary, and accent color. So then that's how you kind of do that. So you have to do it from that menu. Hopefully that helps. No Man's Sky, every time they put out a big update, always gets a ton of new players. Last year with Beyond, they were back in the top 5 for sales on Steam. I know, it's crazy. If you think about the business model, what they're doing is most other companies release an unfinished game, whether they choose to admit it or not, although a very polished unfinished game, and then they just charge the dog shit out of you for all the features that they add, right? Well, Hello Games, they're doing it a different way. They're just continuing to add value over time. So that one, if you've already purchased it, you're just getting more and more value for your purchase over time, which keeps you playing, but also builds a relationship and trust with the developer, and you're going to invest in their other properties later down the road. But then for new players who weren't attracted by the previous features may become attracted by the additional features that are added and the increased value over a period of time. And so they're getting people to re-download and repurchase the game continually. So for the last 4 years, they've been growing their player base beyond the original release. And a lot of games don't grow at that track for that period of time. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But yeah. Tube said, did y'all like this stream yet? Because this has been pretty dope. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude, like it. Thumbs up. I don't give a shit. Thumbs down. Who cares? Interact with it. Press buttons. Click on things. Badges, an archaeological system. I like the idea of an archaeological system. That's good. It's not happening, but what if all of Destiny was designed of ancient Japan? That would be sick. That helps a lot. Thanks, all. Yeah, dude. J-Spot says ancient bones collected as trophies. It'd be cool if you could hang ancient bones up. Like, I was at a client's house the other day. Obviously, if for the animal lovers out there, I hope not to offend. But I was at a client's house. I personally would never do this, but a bear that the man hunted with a bow, he put its skin up on the wall. So it'd be kind of cool, if you could do that in No Man's Sky, with your your bones that you find from the different creatures on the planet when you uncover them in the ground. It'd be cool if you could collect those in your inventory, and then they can become decoration. You can mount them somewhere. I used to have a way better freighter base back in the day with like an actual farm in it, but I kind of gave up on this, and now it's just a big storage area with a frigate command center and like this little lounge. Got the Galactic Hub logo because one, they're OG, and two, Hello Games is only has eyes for the Galactic Hub project. It's like no other hub exists. But this is probably where I'm going to call it, guys. Jabroni says, I'm going to do the same thing with my game. One of them. You can you can kill a bear with a bow. Yeah, if your chest hairs exceed 1 million hair follicles, you're able to pull back a pretty sick bow and take out. It was a black bear. I mean, one like a grizzly, but it's big enough to wipe a bunch of people out. There is very controlled hunting environments where the population is regulated by hunters, and they're only allowed to be hunted at certain times of the year and stuff like that. And this particular person, he doesn't waste it. So for him, it wasn't a trophy. He kept the skin and mounted it as kind of like a rug or decoration on his wall. But for him, a lot of it was processed and used for a variety of different things. Believe it or not, people eat bear. But yeah. Again, I'm not condoning it. Just saying. It was at a house I went to. I do custom AV, and I was designing a system for him, and he just had a bear on the wall, and I'd never seen that before. Good to see you again, Woot. Hopefully we get the patch notes this weekend, and then update Monday. I think this update is going to be big enough that it's going to come with a trailer, with the chick speaking. I think it's going to be like the girl talking. I think this update, I think they're downplaying it. I think this is an overhaul style update that fundamentally will change the game from a lot of gameplay standpoints. I think it's going to look how it looks now, but I think they're just going to fundamentally change a lot of the gameplay aspect of it. And so I think we're going to get the trailer, the patch notes, the whole 9 yards. I think this update is bigger than they're letting on, but we'll see if I'm wrong. There's a lot of people out there saying the opposite, and maybe they're right, and that's okay. And that's what's fun about speculation. It can go either way. Don't take any of this too seriously. Don't take it to heart, but it's definitely fun to think about and to talk about. Maybe the update can be the super formula. That would be cool, Garbo the Traveler. Welcome back. Appreciate you stopping by. And sorry you dropped in at the end. I don't know if you've been watching the whole time. It's the first time I see you in chat, so welcome. And sorry I'm ending the stream on you. Jabroni says Monday. That'd be nice, but I'm definitely getting Tuesday vibes. But hey guys, a lot more of you showed up than I thought would actually come, especially one, because I haven't streamed in forever, and two, the time of night that I decided to stream. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys being here. There are many ways to support the channel. Some of them are in the description down below. The best way to support the channel is by supporting the other channels that I have listed in my description. If you're not following or subscribed to any of those people, please go subscribe to them. Sword, Ballisticola, it's all there. So, and there's plenty more that I should add that aren't there. But if you're not subscribed to any of those people, click on the links, subscribe to those channels, and support the community. So if you want to support the Hidden Panda Show, the best way to do it is by supporting other members of the community, especially those that have been here since day one. There are plenty of huge channels that do No Man's Sky videos, but there are even more channels like this one that have been here from the beginning. Your Richard Huntingtons, for example, is one of my personal favorites. We've got J-Spot J. I don't know if you're still big into streaming, J-Spot. Agent Tomcat's got some videos, Marty Merrick. So just support the community, guys. Like I said, there's a number of ways to support the channel. You know, fuck the thumbs up and donating money and all that. Support the other members of this community who've been keeping this game alive since day one and giving us a place to call home and hang out with each other and discuss, one of our favorite games. And I really appreciate you guys coming out. Dave Langer says you're kind of a big deal. Yeah, nope. Garbo the Traveler, or Gabro the Traveler says, I'm a Brazilian, by the way. Well, that's really awesome. I hope to visit that country one day. It's beautiful from what I can tell. Dave Langer says, since the player model is not on my cover belt or my bet would be a bigger update, not a bite-sized one. Or since the player model is on the cover, I agree. I would take that bet also. I'd love the Rutger Hauer trailer for Living Ships. I want another trailer. That's true. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. .com says, thanks, Panda. Ryder S in the chat. Welcome back to Hidden Panda Show, dude. Sorry I'm ending it as you arrive. I don't know if you've been watching the whole time, but if you were, thank you. But if you just arrived, obviously the stream is going to be uploaded. Go back and check it out. I felt like there was a pretty good conversation here happening in the chat. And Arsenal says, good night, all. Thanks for the stream, Panda. Cheers, strength, honor, and FDI. Thank you guys so much. Huntington is the man. Huntington is the man. So you'll find him in my description. Click on the link and subscribe to Richard Huntington. He streams many other things, including No Man's Sky, but he's just been a cool-ass, great, long-time member of this community. He's been streaming forever, and you'll like the guy. I'm telling you. And but yeah. Jabroni said it best. Good night, chat. And he says, bye, Panda. Have a good night, Jabroni. And everybody take care. Again, he is great with City Skyliners. Yeah. I haven't watched too much of those, but from what I can tell, he's building some pretty advanced shit on that game. Or at least it looks advanced. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for coming out tonight, joining the stream. I hope to do this more often. You guys take care. Be safe out there. It is a crazy year. It is a crazy world. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And, yeah. Good night, guys. Panda out.